4 armed men tried to shove my 22-year-old son into an unmarked van in broad daylight, badges flashing, voices raised, convinced they could scare a college kid and his nobody father into surrender. They demanded entry to my federal weapons vault. Wrong house, wrong day. When I pulled out my U.S. Marshals star, their game flipped on its head fast. Suddenly, they weren't just trespassers. They'd crossed into felony territory. Want to know what happened next? Strap in, because this is how it went down. The sound of gravel popping under my truck's tires has always meant one thing: home. That evening, the sun was dropping behind the pines, stretching shadows all the way up to the house. Most folks coming home are thinking about what's for dinner or what game's on TV. Not me. My eyes were on the rear view, checking for Tail's old habits. My house sits far off the main road, tucked behind thick timber, clear sight lines by design. It's where you go when you want to be left alone. But that day something felt wrong. Fresh tire tracks snaked through the grass. Mud splashed up near the driveway's edge, a hasty turn not mine. Silence too. No crickets, no birds. As I stepped out, boots soft on the walk, I spotted Caleb on the porch. He's 22 strong, 6 foot, built like a linebacker, just graduated in engineering. But right then he looked spooked. His hands clenched white on the railing, jaw twitching. I kept calm. Panic spreads. Report, I said. He sucked in a breath, tried to steady himself. We had visitors. 4 guys, van and a sedan, tried to look official, tactical vests, badges, the works. Banging on the door, demanding the vault. Said there's some new ordinance about storing military-grade stuff in residential areas. I felt a chill creep in. That vault isn't for hunting rifles. Anyone knowing about it is a problem. Anyone threatening my son over it, that's war. What'd you tell them, I asked. Show me a judge's warrant, Caleb answered. Told him I know my rights. Said no search without consent. One with a neck tattoo got in his face, said, compliance check, don't want to start life with an obstruction charge, do you? Easy way or hard way? Threats, plain and simple. I told him to leave or I'd call the sheriff. They bailed, but not before trying to stare him down. That's when I pulled up the camera footage. 4 men, gray van didn't move like cops, sloppy, out of formation, cheap badges and loose holsters. The leader, Briggs, I'd learn later, stood out, big guy, black polo with community security stitched on threadbare and faded. But they knew about the vault. That was the real danger. 30 minutes later, they were back. This time, Briggs came alone, leaned into my space, and started spinning tales about new HOA boundaries, community bylaws, compliance inspections. Said my son's attitude could cost him his future. I stepped up, didn't push, just took the space back. You're not law enforcement. You're trespassing on federal property. Next time it won't be a warning. Briggs lost his smirk, grumbled a threat, and left. But the message was clear. This wasn't over. Morning came, and with it the real boss, black Mercedes, chrome shining and outsteps. Priscilla Thorne, late 50s, blue suit, sunglasses, air of royalty. She smiled coldly. Mr. Sterling, I'm president of the Greater Valley Association. She handed me a thick, fake legal document, $5,000 a month, weapons safety bond penalties, asset forfeiture. The whole thing was a scam signed by a county official who retired years ago. I called her bluff. Her smile froze. Clerical error, she spat, but pressed on. You can sell to us and walk or stay and get buried in lawsuits. And then a slip, you're sitting on a gold mine, Mr. Sterling. The truth. It was about land, not law. I dug through surveyor maps and development filings, found my property in the center of a $200 million commercial plan. My 6 acres blocked the main access road. That's what they wanted. They didn't wait for 24 hours. Caleb lost his job after an anonymous tip. Tow truck showed up, stole his car for unpaid fees. Briggs there gloating. I held Caleb back. Let it go. We're not beaten. We're building the case. That night it escalated. Priscilla called 911, reported a fake hostage crisis. Cops surrounded the house, SWAT ready to breach. I walked out, slow hands, high badge out. Explained, calmed them down. The sergeant got it, saw they'd been played, offered to stay. No, I said. Give me space. Let them think I'm alone. We staged the house boxes by the door, Caleb packing a rental. At sunset, I hid in the garage. The van rolled up, headlights off. Briggs and his thugs, tasers, zip ties. Priscilla watching from her Mercedes. Grab him, trade him for the deed. They grabbed Caleb, zip ties ready. I stepped out of the shadows. Drop him. My voice echoed flat, final. Briggs spun. Back off, old man. His men came at me. One down, in two, moves the next, a wrist lock and a knee to the mat. Briggs swung a baton, missed. I dropped him, zip-tied his wrists with his own cuffs. 30 seconds. No shots fired. Priscilla tried to run. I hit the remote steel bollards, blocked the drive. I walked up, showed her the badge. She screamed, threatened, begged, even tried to bribe. Delta 9. Move in, I radioed. Floodlights hit the yard, black SUVs roared up, U.S. Marshals everywhere. Priscilla arrested, Briggs and crew cuffed. Scam exposed, shell company, dozens of families bullied out, millions pocketed over a decade. Within 48 hours, indictments unsealed. Caleb's job reinstated, his car returned. We stood on the porch, sun rising, land still ours. Caleb said, "You never told me you were a chief deputy. Logistics is part of it." I smiled. Moving bad people to places where they can't hurt anyone else. We fist bumped the Blue Jay back at the feeder, world set right. Next time, Caleb asked, "Can I use the zip ties?" I laughed. Let's hope there isn't a next time. But if there is, sure. Justice isn't always sirens and headlines. Sometimes it's just a father and son refusing to fold. And sometimes true power is the quiet kind, the kind that protects instead of bullies. So now I'm curious, where do you draw the line between standing up for your family and going too far? Ever face down someone who thought they owned the law? Drop your take below. Share your stories. I'll be reading every word.